Hi everyone and welcome. I wanted to switch it up today because I had a little bit of a want to work again with my Sibylla Oracle cards. Now, some people call these Gypsy Fortune cards, Gypsy Oracle cards, and some of the ones I have here are Marseille Oracle cards, and these ones Mother Nature Oracle cards, but they're all similar in that it's the old-fashioned way, the old parlor game that women often did to amuse themselves and tell fortunes. I have to say that this is my favorite one. I got this secondhand. When it was in my hands, I couldn't put it down, and I've loved it lots. The cardstock is pretty good. The backs are not exceptional, but I also modified it because I found it too clean. These cards were meant to be, I guess, duplicates of what went on in the 18th and 19th century when women were reading these cards. Now, they might look a little bit messy to you, but what I was trying to do was age them a bit. And so you'll see a little bit of crayon smudged in, some dirtiness happening around the corners. Pencil crayon was used. And I also went into you'll see in some of the books that they'll say certain cards are positive, negative, or neutral. So I put a little plus sign or whatever it was for each card. So when I'm reading them, I could look to that for help, as well as the name of the card, as well as this insert or pip area here. So as I say, they're a little bit dirty looking, but it made it more approachable for me in that I was trying to take it back to a well-used looking deck. And you'll have to decide for yourself if you want to do that. But you know, most people can get their hands on some crayons, some pencil crayons, and make it their own. Now, it does come with a little booklet, but it's very lacking for someone who might be, get it in focus, new to the system. You get about 7 pages in here that is English, and then that's that. You don't really get any definitions to go by. It gives you how to lay out this 4-card spread in 2 layers. So you're actually getting 8 cards, and it's done anti-clockwise, and they give quite good information on how to do that. But I found on Amazon this booklet here, Understanding the Sibylla Oracle Cards. Now, it really is bringing more information that is so helpful. It goes into reversed ones. I can write in it. I can circle because it's my book, and I'm trying to learn Sibylla, or I was when I got this. The only thing that is a difficulty is if I want to look up card number 1, which is got to come in focus, there we go, and is love. When it gets to starting to the cards, card number 1 is the Ace of Hearts, not the 6 of Hearts. So you have to refer to the front contents, look for the 6 of Hearts, and know that the information you're looking for is on page 24. Now, once you got the hang of it, you could put this book aside. But what I liked too was it brings in a little bit of extra meanings for the Gypsy Oracle cards. It follows a similar system. And that is this deck here that I just purchased. It was on sale. Haven't opened it yet. And I can't wait to get into that one. I think the borders are darker on that one, and that's why it was appealing to me. So as I say, you know, the little words in the bottom corner, a positive, negative, or neutral will help you, and that book will help you explain the little pips and inserts to you. So, for instance, there's one, a sincere friend. Well, the words right there tell you lots, and you can bring in some of your knowledge of playing cards and the tarot, because the meanings for them are sometimes similar enough. But I always find that, play with the deck a little bit yourself and then take it out and try it on other people, because that's when the cards really speak, and that's when you start to really understand them. Now this one here, you can see it's got a little minus in a circle. That tells me that it's usually a negative card, and in the wording at the bottom, waiting. So you take that into consideration. You look up your little insert here, and just because that is a 10 of hearts, which is normally in tarot a really good card, it is not in this one. And you can bring in your numerology if you want to, but that makes it layered and a little bit more difficult. If you just want to play with the cards, do some simple spreads and use the words and the images, because really the images are talking enough on their own to help us. And if you use your imagination, that look she's giving this person here, which looks younger to me, maybe she's been waiting for him for whatever reason, and he's been, lollygagging around, or he's staying in this youthful stage a little bit too long, and she's waiting for him to grow up. It's all about stories and putting it all together. And even her shoes with the point there, it's like, can we get to the point? Can you hurry it up? And that's how, for me, Sibylla cards talk. And so that is that one, my favorite one, the love that I put into that, and it speaks so well. Now this one I found a little bit difficult. The images, get it to focus. Come on. There we go. Yeah, and I did get it on discount. I think it had been opened. I don't know why they call it Marseille, but they do. And this is totally different. It does have its little booklet, and it does give a little bit more information in this booklet. It's not too bad. And it does give you a spread, a little bit more in-depth spread. And a lot of the Sibyllas do this 3 rows of 2 cards and an extra one here for a surprise card. But at least this little book gives you some information about the cards that you're seeing. This one too, being different in that it's not giving you the little pips or the inserts. So you've got your word at the top and your image. So that's a little bit different than the Cupid card that automatically says love to most people. Here you've got a bird and a little bit of a shape of a heart there. But there's still symbols that you could use and tell stories with and get answers with. It's whatever you choose to put your energy in that brings the most success. Now, the Sybil one I showed you at the first had 52 cards. This one, I believe, is 32. And it's a little bit more antique looking. The borders don't appeal to me, no, but that gives you an idea there. of some of the images. And you could do a 9-card spread like in Lenormand with this. But because the cards are a little bit bigger, it won't do a full spread for me of Lenormand. But, you know, if you had table room, you certainly could. And the backs on this look like that. So that is the Marseille one. Now this one did appeal to me quite a bit because it brought in the language of flowers. And this one is a smaller deck too. It has its little booklet. And I think, yeah, it's going into the, let's get it focused. It's spread there for A, B, and C, and it tells you how to do the spread. And then it does go into giving you a few little words here along with the plant. But what I did was modify this one too, putting down the name of the plant and a word that goes along with it. Now I'll show you the backs. A little bit nicer. I quite like these ones. And I thought these had an older look to them, so they didn't need antiquing. The borders aren't so bad on this one. And it is a smaller deck, I think, yep, 32 cards. So if you're put off by having to learn, 52 cards plus inserts, maybe these type of oracles would suit you better, and especially if you love flowers and have a knowledge of the language of flowers, you can bring all that in. There's your daisies. Now this one here, usually a daisy for me is happy, but this one is talking about insincerity. And there's number 4 for monkshood. And you know that monkshood can be a dangerous plant to deal with. So if you were getting that in one of the old-fashioned language of flowers bouquets, you would know that maybe someone's seeking a little bit of revenge and wants to do you some harm. There's hope. Whoops. Bear's ears. And just the mannerism here of the two ladies, you know that they're sharing a little bit of gossip. This one looks better because, you're receiving a gift and it's a surprise gift. You can see her hand up by her neck and her heart. They're going, oh my. So the images are good and clear. I would take this one as a second in my Sibylla decks because it is a little bit easier, and I do love and have done some research on the meanings of flowers. And you get a good size image in the card of the flowers. So we know that poppy can be intoxicating and addictive. And so here we have a person that's a little bit lazy, sluggish, sleepy. I don't know why they refer to the pinks as being weak, because the pinks in my garden are pretty darn hardy. Roses for beauty. So there are some good cards and some bad cards. And if you did a little 3-card, 9-card, or even 5 cards in a row, I'm sure you could tell a story with these. And maybe have a separate book on the side for meanings of flowers. Because if you were to get 3 cards in a row, you could combine the meaning of each of those plants and come up with something a little bit more deep, I guess, deeper. But it is a fun little deck. And then, if I show you one other very inexpensive deck with very poor quality cards, but fun, is the Gypsy Fortunes. I think I got this at Chapters for about $5. And it has the little spot for your cards there on the side. But this little book comes with more information yet on doing readings with the cards. And you get great information of divination info that you can use, plus a large colored card on the adjacent page. So this one was great to play with, and it did go into 1 cards, 3 cards, yes and no's, and you can see the color in this one really stands out. But if I show you the cards, I modified this one too, in that I cut it down because I wanted to use it more like a Lenormand card set, and I wanted to use the whole set. So here is the backs. Little tiny gypsy caravans, which is so cute. And the images are crisp and clean, but you can see I cut mine down. And I did a boo-boo on 1 card, but I only spent $5 on it, so I could still play with it and it wasn't an issue. So some of the numbers you're seeing or will see as I flip through, the printing wasn't exactly perfect, so some of the numbers got cut down a little bit. And it is pretty self-explanatory, but it's so like a Lenormand deck. There's your flowers. There's your scythe or sickle. This is an extra little one they put in. Pig. Try to get the shadow off my hand, but difficult. You've still got the fox. So there are good cards and difficult cards. The snake is great. You can see that that's a horse for the rider. Great little deck. There was a little bit of a printing issue, I think, in the front of this one, in that they duplicated the pictures for some reason, and I just corrected it. Okay, so there's number 6 was supposed to be the flowers, and they had another scene there for a window. But it is nice to get this section as well. So that introduces you to Sibylla cards, or Sibylla Oracle cards, Gypsy Fortune cards. And I think I'm going to pause there now that I introduced this. And, you know, I'll do an unboxing in the next video. But I wanted you to see that it is a fun little deck to have and to work with, and hope that you can get excited about Sibylla. I think Sibylla decks are fab. So I hope everybody enjoyed that, and I'll catch you back here again.